Hey guys, what is up? It's Biff, and you're back in the Fearless Mods garage, where today we are going to be working on our Carrera 911 GTS because we need to protect those radiators from rocks and debris getting kicked up on the road and possibly damaging them, but we also want to keep leaves and maybe even small birds from finding a home in there or just getting sucked up in there and we don't know it. So grill guards it is. Instead of buying them online and spending what might be a reasonable amount, we're going to do it ourselves here in the garage. So if you want to see how to do that to your Porsche, then you're going to want to watch this video. Okay, so the first thing we've done is we've gotten the car in here, we've jacked it up, and we've removed the front tires. You can look right here for the video that I reference how to do all of that. But now that that's done and we got a good stable platform, we are ready to move on to bumper removal. And so bumper removal is next. Video right here that will show you how to do that disassembly. So some of the online versions merely have you remove these, unhook these 3 or 4 clips here and remove the beauty cover, slide your mesh in, which fits across this whole area, and then zip tie it in 2 or 3 places to hold it in place. What I'm wanting to investigate is whether we can get a mesh in there that actually is a little more secure than just 3 zip ties, so that it's a little more rigid to things that might hit it. It would still keep leaves and things out of it, but I would just like to see if there's a more secure option that we could put in that is held in place a little bit better by the ductwork. And probably not able to be installed or uninstalled with the bumper on the car as it would have been for those online versions of the grill mesh. Go ahead and start to look at what we're going to need to do with the bumper over here and the opening for the duct right here to get our mesh fit nicely, because we want them both to be nice and seamless and held in. Okay, so this is where I got my diamond mesh grill material in a black gloss. CustomCarGrills.com, really cheap. I'll put the price on here if I can remember what it is. But what I need right now is a piece of cardboard as a template, and I'm fresh out of cardboard, so this is going to be it. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, and there's our mesh grill. I'll leave the white behind it so you can see it. But it's a tight mesh. I think it'll look really good and still let plenty of air flow through, but stop any pebbles and pieces of gravel for sure from entering. So that's our grill piece, 1 foot by 4 feet. Hoping that I can get the 2 sides and the center, but as I look at it, I might not be able to get the center with that. The reason the cardboard is going to be good is because the actual piece of grill material is pretty flat, and we know that this is not. However, we can get a pretty good flat approximation here of where the opening of the grill is, and then we'll figure from there where we want to create extra for any bends to create some overlap. These 2 lines here, board will do fine. I just want to connect them to show kind of that shape. Our grill piece is essentially this. Okay, so after looking at it on the car, I found out it actually goes to here. Pretty sure, I'll double check that. So we want it to go to there from here. Okay, we're gonna draw this again because I'm seeing things that I didn't like. I think what the plan will be is to cut this out. We know that fits the duct side, and that we want some extra fold over material definitely on this side. Not sure about this side, so I'll have to take a look by cutting this out and putting it behind the bumper and then comparing what we would want extra on there with bends. Let me catch up with where we are on this. I have been scrapping the idea of the large sized grill that fits up to this because it stands too far aft of the actual pretty parts on the front of the bumper. So I'm working on setting a piece down in here and trimming it. I've been trimming it and trimming it, and you can see I just trimmed a little bit too much over here and at the top because I want the grill to rest on top of this plastic surface. I'm still trying to decide if I put a slight bend in the grill from, say, here to here, just to give it a little curvature so that it sits down in there a little better against this. Not sure if I can even get there with these flanges. It feels like there's just a little bit, about a 1/4 inch of flex where it would be down in there anyway. And maybe that's just what they do with the zip ties. But I'm needing more material up here to close that in, because when I put this in place, not only do I have my gaps up top here, but I have, not that much, but I have gaps around here too. So I cut a little too much material, plus I need to get the curvature. So I've been just using this piece of paper, putting some marks on here where it lines up with the red tabs. And then I just traced around there through the paper of where I'll make some of my initial cuts on that. This top edge is good. I'll cut this, and if it all works out, I'll tape it to this, and then we should have a good template for the entire thing. And then we can start thinking about how do we want to bend the edges to make it really hold in there better than just some zip ties to that center strut. So I've got this pretty much where I want it. It fits down in here just behind these red tabs real nice. Comes up, overlaps the edges, cuts in where it needs to cut in, slides down in front of these tabs to get up against the prettier part of the trim there. So I like how that's looking. Now I'm looking at how to attach it. So there's a couple options I'm thinking here. I can have a tab come off the end of this, and I could put a rivet or a screw here. I could do the same thing here into this piece of plastic. I could have a couple of where the mesh actually comes up and over and fastens into this and this. So that would give me 4 actual mechanical connections on the lower half of it without even having to zip tie. The reason I'm not wanting to zip tie is because there's this gap in here, and to pull that completely down into that, and even to put a bend here, if I were to put a bend there, it would raise it up off of, I'm just afraid it would raise it up off of these corners, because you pretty much would want the bend to be symmetrical with that, and I think it would just make it come up off of these edges here and here, and I don't want to do that. It looks like it is now, but it pushes down in there. So I think I want just to have a little bit of a gap in here and have it look more flush against this black trim all the way around, so it looks really nice and neat. With the shroud in there, there's no interference with these bolts, the rivet down there, or the screw or rivet here. But I'm running out of options on what to do on this side over here. There could be an option of some kind of a Velcro that I could maybe do. That's a possibility. Still do some tabs and have Velcro on those. And then screws, 2 additional screws here, and then the existing screws here. That would give me 6 spots really nicely around the whole thing to really hold it secure. And that might be what I go with. And I'm really hoping that all I got to do on this side, because I haven't looked at it, is just flip it and mirror it like this. What was the front is now the back, and hopefully that'll fit down in there. I haven't played with that. I don't want to mess up this template. Still working on it. I'll catch you up with where I am here at the next step. So now we've got the plan all mocked up. We've got these standoff tabs that will come up here and attach to these. I'll have to play with the height of them a little bit, but there we go, because this is pushed down in there. I've got 1 tab up here on top that I can bend over and use Velcro or something to fasten it to it. We'll wait and see there. And 2 screws or rivets or something right here. So this is going to be way stronger than the 2 to 3 zip ties that they use. The only reason I'm thinking I want that one over here or needing it is because I do want something to hold this top in to give it just some stability. Overall, it's going to be very secure, but this one will give it some stability, and if there's any flex, it helps me tie that flex down. And from the cardboard aided design, it does appear that this could end up being kind of a high point. So we will see with that. So essentially, we'll fold those all flat and we'll have our template. So that's what we've got this far. It is time consuming playing arts and crafts, but hey, it's a good time in the garage. So we will get that done. I think in the end, we're gonna have a better product than what you buy online. Obviously, a little more in-depth install, a lot more work, and you'd have to design your own because I'm not going into production on these things, but let's keep plugging away at it and see how it turns out. Okay, so it is a couple days later and we've got our extra grill piece now, so we'll be able to do all three of these sections. And what I am getting ready to do right now is take this template and go cut our first pieces out. One thing I want to point out here that I'm considering is for these top mounts. I do have this guy, so I'm going to leave some extra material there in case I want to go with that. But I'm also considering leaving some pieces here that can come up, make the bend, and then two slips that would go down into the slots on each side of these tabs on the outside of it, just to slide down in there. They wouldn't necessarily be attached to anything, but they would allow it to slip down in there and just give it some extra rigidity over there. So let's go ahead and get this thing cut out. Okay, so the hardest part is going to be with our piece of mesh here, making sure that we hold this flat the whole time that we're working here. Before I do any more refinement, I want to get the bumper back up here and actually just kind of see how far off we are from our template. It's going to be too big and I'm going to have to do some bending on some of this stuff, but I want to make sure I know where the bends are going to go and get it refined where it sets down in there before I start getting too crazy with those. Setting this down in here, we can see it's looking really good. But we're gonna have to do just a little bit of bending or we're not gonna be able to get in here. I need to be able to put these right on that lip behind the red tabs. And when I do that, I'm gonna get some overlap down here in some areas. For these little simple bends, I'm just using some a Harbor Freight hand seamer here. We'll see how it goes. We got it facing the right way. This bends up, and so we will give it a bend up and see how it works. Just gonna clamp on there right there, straight across, and give it a little bend up, like that. So that should work right there to get us started. Same thing on this one. Line it up with the edge that we've got cut. Looks pretty good right there. And then I'm just gonna give it a little bend up. That one doesn't need as much. Probably gave it too much, but that's all right. Looks like I'm probably gonna have to trim the bottom of this just a touch along here. Just a little trim of some of these guys here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and bend this guy up. I'm gonna go from this line right here because that's where the bend should be. Let's get this in 90 degrees. We'll go ahead and definitely get that to 90. All right, this is actually looking really good. I mean, it fits down in there so nice. Clips up right inside the red tabs. We drop down onto this ledge right here, which is hard to do one-handed. But it perfectly sets on that ledge at the bottom here and drops down in here. We got our standoff tab that allows us to secure it there. We're flush all the way around here on the plastic trim, all the way along. So all we got to do now, two things. Bend these perfectly to come over here and get screwed down onto these bolts. And then these, I just need to cut a slot in the middle, so that really each one of these is two tabs that goes down on each side of the plastic here into those two gaps, one on this side and one on this side. You know how you're always looking for screws, and every time you're trying to find a screw, you dump out your screw drawer and you got a million of these little screws. Well, I'm looking for just a few little screws, but I'd like them to all be alike. So as I'm looking, I'm finding these guys. I got 3 of them, I need 4. I got 2 of these, I got a couple of these. I don't want cabinet hinge screws, but I can't find enough of what I need here. So I've come back over here underneath my stool with some old Stinger parts, and I've found all these little bitty screws here. I mean, they're tiny, but I think they'll do the trick. These are so little that I'm not even going to pre-drill. They're pretty sharp tipped. Okay, maybe we will pre-drill that. Smallest drill bit I got. Perfect. Spectacular. And just like that, we've got 3 out of the 4 that we planned. That is 4 mounting points per design, flush up against here. All we got to do now is cut these slots to slide down in there. All right, so we're cutting these strips, and they're so skinny. So these are just kind of held over here on the left side, barely, but they're holding on. This side, just based on where the cut is, I should have cut further right. There's nothing holding them, they're just breaking off. So that's not gonna work. I really think the right solution would be 2 longer tabs here with 2 screws in here, 2 of those little black screws to hold that. That is behind the bumper, just the plastic. They would screw in there just like these, and we'd have 2 hold down points there. When you're outside the car looking at it, when it's installed, these are on the bottom and the plastic trim comes up and covers them, so that's all good. The trim is here. If you were laying on the ground and looking up in there, you could see these tabs through the mesh, but they're up like this, so you're never going to see them standing or otherwise. You're going to be looking in at any kind of an angle that is not going to allow you to see them. I think this is a pretty good result. So we'll get these JB welded up and see you when they're ready to install. All right, boys and girls, in this segment, we are going to be discussing working with glue on your project. And that is it for gluing your arts and crafts with Biff. So we got this one done, and I got to tell you, these are sturdy. Especially this one here where we got the JB weld around the corner. That thing is on there good. This one here, sandwiched on there, good to go. I'm sure we're going to leave some tape behind there when we peel it off. All we got to do is peel off these top 2 pieces and then trim the overlap part that we have there behind the JB weld, so that is done. And this one will be ready to go in. Off camera, I went ahead and did the other one, got it all cut, and I left the tabs on here automatically so that I could have that rounded portion for that front that we're going to screw in. And then, like an idiot, I just went ahead and cut this one completely off while I was making it. So I am JB welding that one, but they're bigger. They have the right curvature. This one will look like that. Once that's dried, this will be good to go, and both of these will be ready to put in. So now it is time to move on to the center section, and we have a whole new piece of grill material, so we're ready to go with that one and see how we're going to mount it. But I'm going to say these here, pretty much success and pretty much job done. Okay, so I'm getting ready to tackle this center grill, and one thing I got to point out is that it's just, this is not functional. This whole center section is not functional. These two side vents are, and they go through the ducting down there up into the radiator. So I do want these blocked as well. But in order to put a screen across this whole thing, I would have to essentially remove the black piece, put some really nice straight bends along here and the curves and the sharp point, and then push it back in here at the risk of, with the metal wrapped around the edge, scratching up the bumper. And I don't want to risk that. Not to mention, like I said, it's not functional on my GTS. So I think rather than doing that and having bugs and stuff collect in here that I can't get at, like this fly right here, I want to instead just focus on these two corner vents here, like I was talking about. So I just took a piece of scrap and I laid it on here, trying to come up with a way to do it. And I folded the two corners, the two edges down like this. I think it's gonna work pretty well. If I, up in here, you start getting into bumper. We can't put any screws there. But we got this little piece of trim here. We could put one little screw into it because it's not against the bumper. We got this piece of trim that's hidden. It's a second layer behind the part that you see in the front that we could put a little screw in. And we got that same kind of trim here, or we could even come out here to this piece that surrounds the radiator inlet and tap into that, just like we're gonna do for these two out here for these grills. So I think I'm just going to, it folds up real nice. I think it's gonna be easy to do. I'm gonna go ahead and make some cuts in here just to get it to fit a little better, fold some more stuff. This piece is not big enough, but I just wanna get kind of something worked out here and then see where I need to extend some tabs to be able to do the rest of it and then go from there. But I think a screw here, here, and here will triangulate it and hold it on there just fine. The other thing I want to do is work my orientation so my grill mesh is actually in line with the mesh of the side grills. Okay, so here's my good piece of mesh. Like I said, I want it to go this way. So I think, yeah, that should work out plenty. Even with a tab here and a tab here, I think I'll be able to get the other piece out of here just fine. So let me cut this one down first off so I can get a better sense of how the shape is going to need to be on here, and then we can cut it from this piece and actually create our inserts. Got some tape on there that doesn't hold very well. Got a couple of light clamps on there that are plastic that shouldn't scratch it up. Let's see what we can do. Okay, I think we got it. Our beastly contraption to this guy. Just like that. It looks like it's going to be squared up. So that's our grill insert for that. No JB weld needed, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and test fit our shroud real quick. I've already done it with this grill. I know that's good, but I'm gonna set this in here. I mean, it looks like I'm down on there. Our screws are gonna be out of the way. Our tabs hanging out the side. So our tab will just come down here and have a screw in it. And that one down there will have a screw in it into that little piece of plastic. Everything else fits good. Not interfering with the shroud, so I think we're good. Removing the tape first off and then trimming the pieces so that this one's ready to install, hopefully. This one needs no work. This one just needs to have this piece right here trimmed off. One, two. So there we go. Overlap, JB weld, nice and strong. This one's not as strong because it still bends here real easily, but let's see how this fits. We're against the plastic trim all the way around, looking fantastic. And that is a grill that is attached with 4 screws down here at the bottom and 2 at the top for 6 total. Looks good. Looks good. Can't wait to see it on the car. That looks good. That's one down. Our JB Weld has dried up on these parts, so now it is time to get them installed on the car. This one will go right here. This one will go right here. And then all we got to do is take our template, because I don't know if I told you this or not, but I cut it and it was perfect, and I bent it. It fits extremely well, but the problem is the angle of the vents is like angled downward like that, as opposed to straight across to match the grill over here. So it's just a slight, maybe 10-degree change or something like that, but it's just too much for my like. We want it to be just like this one. You can see those line up, and that's how we want this side to be, so they line up with the ones that are in the grill. That means we have to break into the new stock of a whole sheet of 12 by 48 inch grill material, but that's all right. We weren't going to send it back anyway. It never hurts to have extra material around the garage, so we will go ahead and break into that and cut a new piece for that so that we can get that installed, and we'll be done with the grill mod for this bumper. So let's get in here and take a look at getting our screen finally installed here so that we can keep it down there for good. I'm gonna go right against this flange here. That gives me a lot more protection. There we go. Solid grill right there, lined up with this one. We are looking good. All right. 2 grill screens down, 3 actually. We got the little guy right there. So now we just gotta copy that one over here, but get the grate straight, cut it out, screw it in, good to go. And there it is from the inside. We've got these covers in, we've got these covers in, 6 bolts on the outer 2, 3 on the inners. They are secure, and I can't wait to flip this over and see what it looks like on the other side. This looks good. That looks really good. I like just having these little covers in the corners here. Wow, that turned out really good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this bumper back on the car. Again, you've seen how to do that in the video I showed you at the beginning. I might put it again here, might not. But we'll just put the bumper back on and we'll check back in with you after we have it back together and show you what it looks like. All right, guys, finished product. And I gotta tell you, it looks absolutely incredible. Out here glistening in the sun, looking good. You don't even hardly see those little vents in the corners, but boy, the ones on the grill look fantastic. And I told you, you know, those tabs up underneath there, they are so well hidden and you can't see any on the bottom. I mean, my gosh. With the shadow, you wouldn't be able to see them anyway, but you're resting on the ground right there, and you can just see how good those grills tucked in there look. I am really pleased with this. I think that we're going to call that a job complete. So the cost of doing it yourself is really just a lot of time and literally blood from getting cut by those edges of the grill, and no tears. It's really pretty easy, and we saved a good bit of money. They're not that expensive online, but like I say, they get zip tied to that center strut. We've got them held on there way more securely, and I've got the center part protected as much as I need to protect it. I don't need a grill across that whole fake air dam in there. And so anyway, if you want to try it yourself, you see what it takes. Grab you some grill material for about 50 bucks a sheet. I could have done it with one sheet, but that other little corner grill, the little triangular piece, I had one of them clocked slightly wrong, so I had to cut it another time, and that took me into a new sheet of that stuff. So otherwise, about 50 bucks delivered to your door within a couple days, and you can make one of these for yourself. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, getting back to the 911, getting back in the garage, having a good time, customizing the car and doing a few things that we just want to do to it ourselves. And if you like this kind of video where you do things yourselves and we show you how, then reach down there and like and subscribe. Keep coming back to the channel. And the next one's going to be an oil change because we got some new equipment to take care of that. I'll be putting that one together in the next few days. So thanks once again. We'll see you real soon. Take care.